Hi there, going to do an article review. I think this will be a short one. I'll try to keep the commentary down to a minimum and try to keep on point. Let's see what happens. And this is a bit of a follow-up story, a bit of an update to a situation which I'm sure you're very well aware of, in which Kerri-Anne Kennerley basically had a bit of a furor on a Studio 10 panel alongside YUMI Steins, yes, YUMI Steins, in which she was called a racist. So just to refresh your memory, Kerri-Anne was talking about the approximate 5,000 people who were a part of the Invasion Day March or protest, which is basically the Aboriginal community's way of saying "fuck you, Australia Day," in quite a controversial fashion. And the panel on the show, Studio 10 show, were discussing this subject in general. They were discussing Invasion Day and the whole change the date of Australia Day topic. At which point, Kerri-Anne said the following: has any single one of those people been out to the outback where children, babies, 5-year-olds are being raped? Their mothers are being raped, their sisters are being raped. They get no education. What have you done? So she was being critical of those in the march, the 5,000 people, and basically saying, I bet none of you have even gone to the trouble of addressing the real issues. That's what she was saying. And Steins, Yumi Steins, immediately hit back, or after a moment's pause, said, that is not even faintly true, Kerri-Anne. You're sounding quite racist right now. And yeah, I mean, I made a video on that. Lots of other people did. I mean, there was a lot of pushback against Yumi Steins for saying that because it's just seemingly unfair to call her a racist for what she said and for what Kerri-Anne said, and also so fucking condescending, isn't it? I mean, well, who are you to come to such a quick conclusion that Kerri-Anne is a racist just on the basis of one or two sentences? Is that enough to besmirch someone with the racist hammer? Really? Is it? No, it isn't. Come on. People are allowed to express their opinions. Even if you say one or two things racist, does that make you a racist? I don't know. No, it's going too far too quickly. It's too condescending. And Yumi was not apologetic in the least, which is to be expected. Um, this became a topic in the newspapers for a few days and on YouTube amongst Australians, and to which Kerri-Anne has made a response, which I'll read out. So the 65-year-old acknowledged that the delivery of her point could have been made smoother, but stressed she was only trying to highlight abuse here and now. And she said, to me, the much more pressing issue for not only the Indigenous community, but the nation as a whole, is the horrific rape of children, babies, and women in Indigenous communities. And I fully agree with that. I mean, I think that's what most people took that as. I do feel that what she said was clumsy. I said so. I made a video about that, and I think that Yumi does have the right to push back on what she said because Kerri-Anne does not know. It's complete guesswork to say that she feels that none of the 5,000 people in the march have put any great effort into examining and helping resolving these real issues. Kerri-Anne doesn't know that, and maybe that is a very unfair remark. I'm sure if there are some people within that 5,000, they could rightfully be offended by that remark. Having said that, having said that, Kerri-Anne's point was, she didn't mean it quite literally, did she? It was a general off the cuff remark, which was infused with emotion and empathy. She came from the right place. It came from the right place. It was an impassioned plea for more people to get involved in the real issues. She was basically saying, fuck the whole change the day bullshit. That's not that important, really, is it? That's not actually going to help anybody, is it? If you do change the day, it's not going to make anyone in these communities at less risk of being abused. let's focus on the abuse, is basically what she was saying. And she was also saying, hey, not necessarily just the indigenous communities, the wider society. Let's take a closer look at these issues, which are seemingly a very high risk within these communities, and let's be honest, seemingly at the hands of those within the communities. I believe that would be the case, I'm guessing. Um, that's what she meant, and that's what most people understood her to have meant. And I think most people are prepared and reasonable enough to give her some slack and not try to hang her with her own misspoken words, with the accusation of being a racist. That's intolerant for Yumi Steins to have done that, to be so quick to condemn and to attack Kerri-Anne for just a brief statement, which, yeah, she, arguably was clumsy. And here she is apologizing for that. She's apologizing for that, and she's saying, look, she's clarifying what her initial point was for those that wanted to take offense and demanded such clarification. So that's pretty much the video. She's been invited to visit the indigenous communities by a few leaders in those communities, and I believe Kerri-Anne will be taking that up. I hope she does. I hope she makes a documentary or such, an extended televised piece about the topic, because seemingly there's an interest there. Seemingly that these are real issues that we're not fully educated about, and I would say that there's a great level of interest there to watch a figure like Kerri-Anne, who's loved and trusted by the Australian public in general. I believe that's a fair comment. Um, and have her express her views, examine it. She is a journalist, isn't she? I mean, I know that she's more of a talking head, but she's been in the media for decades. I think she knows how to string a bit of research together and string a story together. Yeah, I would definitely watch it, and I would imagine that it would be a popular and worthwhile production. So I hope Kerri-Anne does go to these communities and gets at least a half well funded production team and put something together for us all to see.